Let's talk about some places where, some not so obvious places where sexual predators might be. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I am a licensed therapist and I've spent many years working with sex offenders. And one of the things that I've noticed over the years is that sex offenders are in places that are not so easy to spot. When I say sex offenders, I mean people who go after all types of people that are in vulnerable positions, so children, vulnerable adults, etc. So number one, places that sex offenders that you may encounter and that you need to be mindful of is any place that does installation. That would be cable, phone, places that have to come into your home and like do installation. I don't know that they do that too much anymore. At least I haven't encountered it recently, but I know in some areas that they do. And it doesn't matter if it's a small or big box store that does the installation. I've known some situations where people have been attacked by the person that does the installation in their home. So vulnerable and elderly people also need to be aware, especially aware. And I always encourage people that if you have someone coming to install anything in your home, make sure at least one other person is there for safety reasons. With big box stores have like GPS tracking devices on their technicians' cars and things like that, so they can actually track. It doesn't mean that they'll actually catch it before anything happens, but those types of things can be tracked, if something is reported after the fact. Hotels, specifically hotel workers. There have been incidences where people who actually work in hotels, it's been alleged that, they've done, things to patrons or come into the people's, your room, unannounced and things like that, and have attacked people who are patrons at their hotels. The gym, so there are a lot of times when offenders will hide out at the gym and look for people that are vulnerable. I think this is especially true for teenagers and things like that. So they, I've known situations where offenders have been on the prowl for like teenagers or unsuspecting people while at the gym. And most recently, in addition to sexual predatory behaviors, there's also been financially predatory behaviors that have been recently coming out about the gym, specifically where people leave things in their locker and that they've been getting, essentially people have been going into their locker and robbing them while they were working out. Organizations that specifically cater to children, and I don't want to name organizations specifically, but any of the big or national organizations that cater to children, where children are supervised by older adults and things like that, where they have to go and spend a weekend with their peers and other older adults. There have been some allegations about those types of organizations where you have leaders and things like that, that are in charge of supervising children for entire weekends and for trips and things of that nature. And last but not least, and I mean, this isn't, I'm not saying that everybody that encounters these organizations are going to encounter this type of abuse, but it's just something to be aware of. That I do know that there have been cases where this has happened, a lot of cases, but the last one that I will name is the military. It's specifically when there's like deployment and things like that. There have been a number of assaults and things that have been reported against officer in the military.